Welcome to this free immigration help channel. In this video, I wanted to talk about the extension of your current visa. Now, I have already done a video on the extension, and I keep getting a lot of questions. It's probably been about a year ago since I made that video. And I made it specifically about filling out the form. So basically downloading the PDF, filling out the form, and filing it. Today in this video, I wanted to show how to do that online. The only thing that I wanted to warn you is that you cannot file online, and we'll talk about it in detail later, if you are filing for multiple applicants. So if you're just filing for yourself or just for somebody else, for just one person, you can definitely do it, and I highly recommend doing it online because the processing time is just going to be much faster, much better. Now, what would be the case where you need an extension? Let's say, for example, you came to the United States with a tourist visa, with a visitor visa, B1, B2, visitor for pleasure, and now you have been here, you got your entry visa for, let's say, 6 months, and you have been here for 4 months, and now you realize that you might actually stay a little bit longer. You need a little bit more time, than 6 months. So you have extra 2 months, but you think that you might be staying longer and staying extra 3-4 months. That's the situation where you file for the extension. And obviously today, with all of these closures and what's going on around the world with the airports and these silly mandates and rules that they're doing everywhere, a lot of people are stuck here in the United States of America on a visa. If you have about a month in advance to file this extension, great. If you have more, even better. Because right now there are so many applications for the visa extension that USCIS, they're just swamped with that stuff. So there's a lot of delay going on right now at this moment. And you probably can judge by the comments in most of my videos about the delays. People are worried. But if you only have a week left and you think, well, should I still file the extension? It's only a week left. Yes, go ahead and file. If you can go back in time without waiting for your extension, do that. But if you can't go back, file the extension. It is very, very important. Okay, so let's get into this. For this, you're going to need your official USCIS.gov, which is official U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services website. All of the information can be found here. All of the applications forms, all of the fees that you need to pay will be done through this and nothing else. Don't become a victim of a scam. There are a lot of third parties out there that try to pretend that they're somehow official immigration services when they're not, and they take advantage of people that do not know. Everything is done through USCIS.gov. Okay, so we go to the main page. From there, you can either go right now, they have a tile to file stuff online. But if it's not there, you can simply go to forms, and that will open up this page here, and you will see that same tile, file online. And you can go there, and when you go to file online, you will see a few articles about how it is better to file online and tips and all that sort of stuff. If you want to read through it, you can. You really don't have to. But where we want to go is we want to go to forms available to file online. So we're gonna go there, and this will open up the page where all of the forms are. And as you can see, there's not a lot. There's like maybe 10, 11 forms that you can file online. It's the change of address, which I've made a video on, freedom of information, which is very unique, and I'm probably not even gonna do a video on this. Replacement of permanent residence card in case if you lost or damaged it. Petition for alien relative, which I've already done a video on, but I'll probably do another one updated on how to file it online. And then we go to our I-539, application to extend or change, which is rarely the case. Most of the times people file for the extension of non-immigrant status. Then we have our employment authorization and a few other forms, the citizenship and stuff like that. So in our case, we're doing this. So you click on File Online, but I would recommend opening this as a separate window first before you click to File Online. So that will open your I-539 specifically page, where you can again click on File Online and go to where we need to go. But why I recommend having this open separately is because here you can find all of the information that you need, including the forms, including the instructions, which I have done a whole separate video on, specifically the PDF forms and how to fill them out. So I recommend watching the other video too, just in case, so that you're caught up. Where to file, in case if you're actually mailing it, in case if you have to, for example, if you're not filing it for one applicant but for two, for three, that's where you do that. Filing fee, $370 currently, it is. And whatever other checklists and all of that sort of stuff that can be very helpful. So we're going to leave this page open. We're going to go back here. We're going to click File Online. And that, well, that brings us to the same page. So we'll click File Online through here. And that gets us to this login page, my account USCIS.gov login page. And let's see if I remember my login information so that I can log in to the actual account and actually walk you through. Nope, that's wrong. It's been a while, guys, since I've been there. Okay, no, we don't need to save nothing. Verification code, let's see if we got that. And then they're gonna email you. And if you don't have the account, just simply click on create account and just follow the instructions. It's very straightforward, kind of like creating an email address or something like that. So really nothing crazy over there. Okay, so we are in our online account. Again, as you can see, it's very important. Pay attention to your links. It's at my.uscis.gov. It's extremely important, guys. Gov websites are the government websites. Nobody regular, not me, not you, not anybody who has money, doesn't matter, can register a Gov website. They are only restricted to government stuff. So I'm not saying that government does not trick you necessarily. That's a whole different conversation. But they are not some random third party. This is directly you're submitting to USCIS. Okay, so we got our online application open. Application to extend change non-immigrant status, I-539. All right, so here the very first thing you will read is that currently you may file application to extend online if you are filing for yourself, and that's it. Online filing is only available for certain applicants. You cannot file online if you have additional applicants or you have AG, NATO, VT, or U non-immigrant status, which are not very common. Most of the time it's B1, B2, or whatever other non-immigrant visas are out there. So in case if you're changing, that would be applicable to you too, but like I said, most of the time it's simply an extension. So before you start the application, I highly recommend reading through all of this information. Well, I'm not gonna go through all of this right now. I'll just briefly explain. Eligibility. So obviously eligibility, I already mentioned in the beginning, you have to be lawfully admitted to the United States of America, meaning that when you came here, you actually had a visa, you didn't jump the border. But luckily, the people that are watching this channel, they're all legal immigrants, they're all legal non-immigrants if they're just visitors coming, but they're not breaking any laws. And in fact, you're watching this video because you care about the system, you have respect for the system, and you don't want to break any laws, you don't want to break any rules. Your non-immigrant visa status remains valid. So that means that your non-immigrant visa status, meaning that when you came in here, your entry visa, let's say they gave it, again, the same example, for 6 months, you didn't go past that. If you go past that, it's too late to file the extension. So please don't wait too long. You have not committed any crimes, makes sense. You have not violated the condition of your admission, Again, makes sense. That example of violating the conditions of your admission would be something like, let's say you came on non-immigrant visa B1, B2. Now, that visa is simply for visitor, tourism. It's not for work. So if you were working on that visa, so you were working illegally, that's the violation of the conditions of your admission. Okay. Your passport is valid and will remain valid for the duration of your stay. That's another very important thing. And guys, just a side note, just a side tip for you guys, if you're traveling, if you are coming here and your passport is expiring within the next 6 months to a year, please renew it before traveling. It's very important because you might get stuck in a situation where you come here and now your passport is expiring in 4 months, but you need to make an extension, and it's you can't because it's not going to remain valid for the duration of your stay. Very important. All right, there are some other exceptions here and there. Read through. These are very unique, so I'm not going to go into that. There's a fee of $370. There's additional biometric service fee. So $370 plus $85. All right, so it's on top of it. And I had the question a lot: is it just $370? No, it's $370 and an additional biometric service fee of $85. Sorry, is required for you and for each person included on a form I-539A. Now, I want to make sure that this right here, this fee, they just copy pasted it from this page here. This does not apply for your online, because by default, when you're filing online, you can't have additional applicants. But if you're filing with additional applicants, if you're filing the paper application, that's how it's going to look. You're going to pay $370, one fee for the application, and then you're going to include additional applicants on the form I-539A. And you're going to pay $85 for yourself, and you're going to pay $85 for additional applicant. So you're not going to pay the full $370 for each applicant, just one time $370 fee, and then $85 for each applicant. And then, of course, there are some fee exceptions for individuals changing to H4L2E or individuals extending H4L2E. Again, very unique types of visas. We're not going to talk about that. Refund policy: there are no refunds with USCIS. Filing online, submitting your form online is the same as mailing incompleted paperwork. That is true, but at the same time, filing online is going to be way faster, because once you click the submit, once you pay the fee, that's it. The form is submitted, compared to you putting all these documents, mailing it, USCIS receiving it, opening up the envelope, and going through all of that. So you can understand how much better filing online is. Now, the documents that you're going to need: your passport, your departure arrival record, I-94, which is very important. I've done the whole video on getting that I-94 online. So if you don't know what it is and you don't know where to find it, check that video out. It's very, very important. And then obviously your passport travel document numbers, which is going to be in a valid passport. So it's like the same thing. Obviously you can track your case online, which I've done the whole video on how to track your case. Check it out if you need. You can respond to requests for information. So let's say you submitted your application and the USCIS needs some additional information from you. You can online, you can submit all of these documents. Again, you don't have to mail it. Everything is online. And then of course you will be contacted once they review your application. They will schedule a biometrics appointment where you go. Biometrics, if you don't know what it is, you go to your local application center. They are all around. Most of the big towns, most of the big cities, they have them. You go there on the scheduled date and time. You walk in, you give them that little letter that you received, the biometrics appointment. Then you go, you do the fingerprints, and then they take your picture, and then you're out of there, and they do the rest. So very simple, very straightforward, nothing crazy. Okay, let's get into it. We're ready to start. Now, you want to provide as many responses as you can. If you don't know something, it's okay sometimes to leave it blank in the online form. Okay, if you watched any of my videos, you know that I'm just strictly almost begging you guys to not leave any blanks in paper application forms. Extremely important. I cannot tell you how many times I've seen, because of this really kind of small, silly reason, these application forms being returned. And they literally say, you can't leave the fields blank. In the online form, it's fine. You don't have to worry about that. Okay, so that's all the little small print stuff. Read through it. If I'd recommend, why not? And then we're gonna start the application and we're gonna get into it. Now, instructions for Form I-539. That's one thing you should definitely open in a new tab. And this will bring you to the same exact page. So you might as well just stay on this page. Scroll down. Forms and documents, instructions. This will download the PDF and it will open up like that. This is what you need to have in front of you while typing up your application, because every single field in this application will show you what to put in here, and we're gonna kind of go back and forth in case if something is important that you need to look up. So definitely have that open in front of you. So let's get into it. What is this blank window? Well, this blank window is very, very important. It talks about your, if you click this drop down, it talks about your current status. Now, in our example, the guy, me, John Doe, right? I came on my B1, B2 visa, and my entry visa was given to me for 6 months, and it's expiring in 2 months, and I need to stay longer. So this is what I'm doing. So let me find my B1, B2. Note, it's not 1B1, not 1B2. Okay, very, very important. That's not the same, completely different. Keep scrolling. Okay, B1. Now we can select temporary visitor for business. That can be fine. But if we scroll down, we can also have B2, temporary visitor for pleasure. Now, depending on which embassy you got your travel visa, B1, B2, sometimes they put just B1, B2. Sometimes they just put B1, sometimes they just put B2. Most of the times, in my personal experience that I've seen, they put B1, B2. Does it matter if you select B1 or B2, if it's both? No. So I will just leave B2 because I personally came here for pleasure. I didn't come here for business. Even though my visa says B1, B2, I came here for pleasure, so I'll put B2. But most of the times, it's both. Were you granted duration of status? Now, and I'm gonna read you the description. Notation on certain non-immigrant form I-94. That's your I-94. Basically, that shows you it's a travel record. That's what they call it, indicating that the individual, such as an F1 non-immigrant student, is authorized to remain in the U.S. as long as he or she maintains a valid status. Okay, so the duration of status is that entry visa that I was referring to in the beginning. It's not the same visa that you got in the embassy. That visa literally just allows you to come to the United States. Duration of status, that's another type of visa per se, showing you how long you can stay in the United States of America. So that 6 months that I was talking about, that's the duration of stay. So obviously your answer is going to be yes. You cannot be granted duration of stay if your current non-immigrant status is B2. Okay, so in this case, let's see. Let's switch it to B1. So in B2, if you are here for pleasure, looks like there's another exception, and they don't grant at the moment. Sometimes they change, so we're gonna switch it to B1, and we cannot do that for B1 either. Okay, well, I guess for this example, since they're not allowing us to do the B1, B2 at the moment, we're gonna do the F1. So I will be the student. So you cannot be granted duration of status if your current non-immigrant status is B1, B2. Let's see. So if we're F1, then we can have the duration of status. Let me check something just to make sure. So if we're here for business, we cannot be granted the duration of stay if I'm here for business. Well, that's strange. I guess that might be some current regulations that they have. Again, a lot of things you have to keep in mind are upside down at the moment because of everything, all this stuff that is happening throughout the whole world in the embassies, in the airports. So for this example, will be a student. All right, John Doe is going to be a student. Okay, so when does your current non-immigration status expire? Okay, so that would be the duration of status. That would be your I-94. Note, very important, it's not your entry visa where you need to look for the expiration date, okay? Because that can be given for 4 years, it can be given for 2 years. In case of a student, it can be given for a whole year. So it's not that. We need to look at the I-94 duration of status. And that is most of the time depending on who you are. If you're a student, sometimes they give it for a year. Sometimes they give it for 6 months. It really depends what kind of student you are and what kind of educational facility you're going to. So I set 2 months ahead. So we will put 04/18/2022 because today is 02/18. So in 2 months, my duration of stay is expiring. So let's go next. You can file an answer for certain statuses, blah, 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 the same note. So what are you applying for? Is it an extension of stay in my current status? Is it reinstatement to student status? Or is it a change of status? Well, in my case, it's simply an extension. And here, that's a lot of questions I got about this particular one. What date are you requesting your current or requested status be extended until? Okay, so if you plan to stay here, for example, in my example, John Doe example, right, for another 2 months, I'm gonna say extra 3 months, just in case. So that means from April, when my status is expiring, another 3 months, that's gonna be April, May, June, July, right? So I'm gonna put 07/18/2022. Now, if you think you're gonna have to stay here another 4 months, 5 months, then I would recommend requesting 6 months just in case. Again, it doesn't really necessarily mean that they will grant you that much of an extension. Just don't request less than you need. Request more than you need. And usually, in my experience, from what I've seen other people being granted that extension of stay, they usually get more than they requested. Most of the times it's another 6 months, all right? But don't hold me accountable to that because it's up to USCIS. So I'm gonna click next. And then, is someone assisting you with completing this application? If yes, you say yes. If no, in my case, I'm doing it myself, so no. Current legal name, so we're gonna put John Doe. Next. And that brings us to all of our information that we're gonna start doing, start filling out here. Obviously your address, where do you live now? If it's the same current mailing address, just click that. Your physical address abroad, where you came from, your phone number, your email address, all that sort of stuff. So we're gonna leave it blank for now, and I'm sure you can figure it out yourself. Not that hard. Now, the A number. What is the A number? The A number is the alien registration number. It's not the account number here. That's not it. It's alien registration number. And most of the times, if you are here on non-immigrant visa, you're not gonna have that. So just leave it blank. It's only most of the times when you have some kind of case going or something like that, you get that A number. So in this case, we're gonna leave it blank. What is your online account number? Now, the online account number is the account number that is given when you register for this online account, and it's usually emailed. Some people don't receive it. If you did not receive it, just put don't have it. Not a big deal. If you do have it, enter it here. If you don't, just put it I don't have it. It's really not a big deal. I haven't seen it make that much of a huge of a difference. So date of birth, obviously you're gonna fill it out. Social security, if you have that, put it. If you don't have that, that's fine. Not a big deal. Most of the times people with okay, so they don't like that. Well, whatever. We can 0, 1, 12. So put my actual date of birth if they don't like that. So just click I don't have the social security if you don't have that, because most of the times if you're non-immigrant you're not gonna have that. Your current passport number, what country your passport was issued in, and when does your passport not what date does your passport expire. Okay, so we're gonna leave that with a different A number. No, we're not gonna, doesn't matter, just let me do my thing. Okay. This one is stubborn. So what is your country of birth? So we're gonna select that. Let's say Morocco, whatever. What is your current citizenship or nationality? Provide information about your most recent entry into the United States. Now, this is where things get serious and very important. Again, you're going to need your I-94 arrival departure record. If you don't have that, if you cannot see it, you can always find it, look it up online, and I did the video on how to do that. So please check it out, it's very important. So you're going to put your date of the arrival, you're going to put your number of I-94 number here, passport number listed on your I-94, your travel document number if you have one. If you don't have one, just leave it blank. It's okay to leave, again, online forms, you can leave them blank, not a big deal. Your passport or travel document, what country it was issued, and the expiration date. So we're gonna leave all of that. I'm sure you can figure it out yourself. All of this stuff is answer yes, no. Have you ever included on this application? Inside it, call for committed assisted help with otherwise participate in killing any person. Hopefully all of this stuff is no. So once you're done with that, you keep moving on to the next one, all the criminal stuff. And then here is, again, a bunch of criminal stuff. Have you been some kind of guerrilla group, whatever, self-defense unit, I guess, for whatever reason is bad thing. I don't know. Just answer yes or no to all of these things. And then next. There's some immigration questions. Have you or any included on this application done anything that violated the terms of non-immigrant status? No. Hopefully. This application removal proceedings? No. So all of these questions, just go through them, read them carefully, answer them. Really nothing complicated here. I'm sure you can manage that, and I don't have to go into these specific details. Yes. Let's move on to the additional information. In the additional information. Now, this is pretty important. This one I would not recommend leaving blank. This one I would use to put a short personal statement of why you are applying for this extension. Obviously, you must have important reasons why you are applying for the extension of stay, right? Put them here. It doesn't have to be this whole hello, dear sir or madam, I am applying for. You don't have to do that. A few sentences. I was supposed to leave on April 18. Sorry, I cannot type and talk at the same time. I was supposed to April 18, 2022, but my home country airport is still closed due to whatever. It's closed due to something, right? That's an example. And I cannot go back, so I really need extra couple months to see when the airport opens up, right? Few sentences, but it will be very, very helpful to the immigration officer who is reviewing this application. All right. That was one of the very important things. Okay, we get to another very important thing, submission of your documents. Check this out. So your non-immigrant arrival departure record, that's your I-94. Scan it. Yes, you can take a picture of it with your phone. Just make sure that it's nicely visible and nicely cropped out, so there's nothing random on the background. It's not blurry or anything like that. Make sure it's in JPEG or a PDF format, and then max size is 6 megabytes per file, which is more than enough, honestly. So you can drag it or you can choose file and upload it. So that's done. I-94, straightforward. Now, your certificate of eligibility for non-immigrant student. That's I-20. I-20 in my example, that's my student basically showing it's from the school. It's showing that I am still enrolled in college or whatever courses, showing that I need more time to be here to finish up my courses. That's gonna be I-20. So in this case, yes, I'm gonna have I-20 and I will upload it. In your case, you might not have it, just leave it blank, don't upload it, that's fine. Proof of ability to pay. Okay, now that might be, ooh, what is this? Okay, so upload an image or copy of any documentation that demonstrates your ability to pay for your studies and support yourself and any accompanying dependent family member. Okay, so this is going to be your bank statement. This is going to be just maybe your, not necessarily the whole bank statement, just your account, bank account, showing how much money you have. And let's say you're staying here for another 2 months. You're showing that you have extra, I don't know, $5,000 in your account. These are the money that you will show. Now, does USCIS have any specific requirements for the amount of money you need to have? No, but at the same time, it has to be reasonable, okay? It has to be reasonable. So you have enough money to pay for your place where you live, for your food, and all that sort of stuff. All right, so that's clear. Let's go to the next page. Yes, I know I have to, but I'm not gonna do it this time, so we'll just click next. Skip that. Additional evidence you want to provide. Now, here, depending on what kind of situation is you got, if you are, again, in our example, we are filing because my airport is closed. Well, in my example, I was filing based on B1, B2, but it did not allow me for some reason, which is weird. Probably something temporary, some kind of temporary restrictions, because I know for a fact that you can file for B1, B2 extension. It never was a problem before. But in the example where your airport is closed, what you can do here, you can go to, for example, website of your airport and have a homepage where it says the announcement airport closed, print screen that, and that's what your evidence is going to be. If, for example, you have something in the form of a letter saying, hey, you need to stay here a little longer, that's going to be your additional evidence, right? So anything that can corroborate your little few sentences of your additional information that I was telling you about, that's going to be uploaded here. So hopefully that's clear. You should provide. Yes, I know I should, but not this time. Sorry. Okay, there you go. We're at the very, very last page. Everything is done. Your form filing fee is $455. And that is that 370 whatever fee plus 80 whatever for the biometrics. So that's why it's $450. Yes, it's pretty expensive, and here on this page it will show you all of the stuff that I missed. Yes, I know, I'm sorry, but you can't click next until you are done with all of the stuff, and once you go to the next page you will be able to make a payment. So it's very, very straightforward from here on. Okay, yes, this is expensive, $455, but trust me, it is much better to pay this $455 than become illegal, because that's what you become when you go past your duration of stay. You don't want to do that. So $455, it's not, it's money well spent in this case. Just don't wait that long. So hopefully this video was useful to you. Let me know in the comments below, guys, if you have any questions. I will try to get them answered. You have to please understand that I get, probably hundreds of comments and questions on this channel, so it's really hard for me to address all of them, but I will definitely try my best, and obviously based on your questions I do these videos. So thank you for watching. Hopefully it was helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next video.